All right, guys, so let's talk about ketogenic, okay, low carb, lean, bulking, weight gainer shakes, okay? I'm with Vince Gironda on the thought that you shouldn't try to gain weight, okay? You should try to gain muscle. Because that was always his answer when people would say, what's the best way to gain weight? Well, do you want to gain weight or do you want to gain muscle? Well, muscle. Okay, well, that's a difference. So I'm not talking about like a sugar-ridden, cheap crap protein and sugar-ridden, weight gainer shake like back in the 90s. We had, the Mega Mass 2000 and stuff where people got fat, became pre-diabetic. I'm talking about a quality meal that you can drink, that you can alter, okay, to fit a ketogenic diet, to fit the needs of lean bulking, okay? So first of all, let me talk about the reason why I use this, okay? The first reason why I like to drink shakes a lot, I always have, even when I was eating carbs, is there are a couple times in the day when I really need a meal. Okay, one of them is when I first wake up in the morning. I'm always starving, okay, which is a good thing because that means, you're metabolizing, your metabolism's running, you're burnt through everything you ate the day before, and your body just needs more. So it means you're in a really good state, okay? You're using actually the amount of food that you're eating and the types of food that you're eating. So it's great to be starving in the morning, but it sucks. I want to eat something really right away. Another thing is when I wake up first thing in the morning, I don't want to take the time or the effort to cook, and I don't even like to eat solid food. I really always like to drink my first meal of the day. So a shake is perfect. And another thing is right before I work out, okay, I work out better, even if it's just cardio, with food in my stomach. At the same time, I don't like to take the time to eat before I go ahead and do a workout, and I don't like to have food digesting in my stomach because, what's the difference between not eating and not having any energy, or having food in your stomach that hasn't digested yet and not having any energy? You could time your meal like, well, I'm going to eat 45 minutes before I work out, or you could just drink a goddamn shake. Okay, it's a lot easier. So even when I went to keto, I was really looking at shakes. And there are basically a lot of this work was done by Rio Blair, Golden Age nutritionist, came up with the first really good protein powder and a lot of other supplements that bodybuilders back in the day used. And Vince Gironda, okay, who was, of course, a genius towards diet, okay, from the 70s for bodybuilders. Okay, so first of all, let me talk about the other reason why I do this. Okay, first of all, convenience. So I need to eat right before I go to work out, and drinking is better. In the morning, I'd like to drink a shake. But another thing about that too is, people talk about how to control your macros. Okay, I've found it's a lot easier to change the ingredients in a shake that I drink to increase or decrease the calories, increase or decrease the protein, increase or decrease the fat, which will give me more flexibility with the other meals during the day, okay? Which means, like, let's say I like to eat chicken. Chicken doesn't have a lot of calories. Chicken doesn't have a lot of fat in it. But by increasing the amount of fat that I have in these shakes, I can make up for, the fat that's lacking by eating chicken. Okay, so like I said, if you need to add calories, you just change the composition of the shake, fat, whatever, okay? And then over the whole day, your fat percentages, your protein percentages, your carb percentages, your total calories over the day calculated will be where you want them to be, okay? As opposed to having to look at, each and every meal. Now, let's go ahead and just talk about this. The old standby, okay, is Vince Gironda's mixing half and half with raw eggs, okay? What I use when I do this, and I think this is what he used most of the time, is I would have 1 fluid ounce of store-bought half and half, okay, per raw egg. So what I used to do back in the day was I take 6 raw eggs, 6 fluid ounces, half and half, and I'd shake it up in a shaker bottle, throw some cinnamon powder in for taste, okay? And that gave me 41 grams of protein, 13 grams of carbs, 50 grams of fat. Let's talk about the composition of the shakes. Okay, first of all, half and half that you buy from a store is not true half and half. Okay, half and half supposedly is a 50-50 mixture of heavy cream and whole milk. if you look at the composition in like MyFitnessPal or something of half and half that you buy from a store pre-mixed, there's going to be more milk than there is heavy cream, which means there's going to be more carbs, okay, and there's going to be less fat and less total calories, okay. So this is a good beginner shake, okay. Like I said, it's only 656 calories, okay. It's 67% fat, 24% protein, and the rest carbs, which is not bad, okay. It's almost like that's like a 70-30 mix between fat calories and protein calories. So like I said, that's a good start. If you want more protein, you could just add another egg, add another fluid ounce of half and half. But like I said, remember, when you're adding half and half, you're also going to be adding in a lot of carbs. So the next step up from that, to kind of customize your shake a little bit more, is to make your own half and half. Okay, I'll tell you the shake that I'm using right now during this current low carb lean bulk is a half a cup milk and a half a cup heavy cream. So that means I'm mixing 1 cup, okay, 8 ounces of true half and half by taking an actual half cup whole milk and an actual half cup of heavy cream, okay. Throw in 3 raw eggs, and I throw in 30 grams of milk and egg protein powder. The reason that I throw in the milk and egg protein powder is because, once again, by adding or subtracting protein powder, I can increase or decrease the amount of protein in there. As for people saying, oh man, that's crap, no, it's just milk protein and it's just egg protein. There's no colorings, no flavorings, nothing in there. Don't ask me where I get it from, because I'm trying out different places and different mixtures. I'm basically having to order the raw materials and mix it myself. But if you look, you'll find different types of egg protein, different types of milk protein, without any fillers, without any ingredients. So don't be a moron and say, man, that's crap, you're eating some artificial shit. If you eat a concentrated egg protein or you eat an egg, there's not that much of a difference if you don't add in chemicals. You fucking morons, get the fuck off my channel and go fuck yourselves. Okay, thank you. Anyway, so half a cup heavy cream, half a cup whole milk, 3 raw eggs, and 30 grams milk and egg protein powder brings 816 calories. So by mixing my own half and half, okay, you can see that I've really increased the calories from 656 to 816. Okay, it's 50 grams protein, which is 25%, 63 grams of fat, which is 70%, so it's like a 70-30 mix once again, 9 grams of carbs, okay? You could see it went from 13 grams to 9 grams of carbs because I had my own half and half instead of store-bought mixed half and half, okay? And like I said, because of that, I also had, higher fat, higher total calories. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you another step up. The thing about half and half, like I said, if it's store-bought, it's okay in small amounts. It's got a lot of carbs. Doesn't have a lot of fat, doesn't have a lot of calories. If you mix your own, it has fewer carbs, okay? More calories, more fat. Another way to do this, okay, and I'm going to come up with like a third really massive shake that I've used before, okay, is when you use pure heavy cream. Now, this is something that you cannot mix in a shaker bottle, okay? I mean, go ahead and try. People are, can I mix this in the shaker bottle? Do what the fuck you want. I cannot mix this in a shaker bottle in a way that it will actually mix, okay? So I actually got a blender, like a kind of a bullet blender. It was a cheap one. It was like a little bit bigger than most bullet blenders, and I mix it up in that. But I really don't give a fuck. Can I mix this up in a fucking shaker? Go ahead, do what the fuck you want. I'll see you in 3 years while you're still trying to shake that first shake. So this is what I do. It's an entire cup, 8 ounces of heavy cream, 5 raw eggs, 30 grams milk and egg protein, and I put some cinnamon powder in once again for taste, okay? And that's from 816 calories, it goes all the way up to 1,299, like 1,300 calories, okay? 60 grams of protein, 113 grams of fat. So you're going now and you've got like 78% fat and 18% protein, okay? Which once again means when I eat a solid meal, I really like leaner foods, except for like ground chuck, which is like 80% ground chuck, ground beef, which is very fatty. It's like 70% calories from fat. In general, however, when I do a meal, I actually like leaner cuts of meat. I mean, even if a steak, okay, I'll eat a steak, it will be like a round steak, okay, which is one of the leaner cuts of meat. If I eat chicken, okay, that's obviously very lean. So by eating something like this, which is 78% fat, Okay, by drinking this, if I have a meal that's very lean, I'm still looking at like the 70% of my calories from both meals together, 70% of my calories coming from fat. Okay, so like I said, this is kind of how I balance it out. So that's, like I said, like the third shake: 1,300 calories, 60 grams protein, 113 grams fat, okay, and only 12 grams of carbs. Okay, and that's, like I said, an entire cup, 8 ounces of heavy cream with 5 raw eggs and 30 grams of milk and egg protein powder and cinnamon. So those are 3 versions of shakes that you can use depending upon where you are. Okay, person you are in terms of your size, your calorie needs, your protein needs, etc. And also, like I said, where you are. For instance, if you're trying to do like a recomposition or a lean bulk, you might want to do 60% of your calories from fat and 40% from protein. Okay, the leaner that you get, when you want to kind of start to stay where you're at, or you might want to like lean bulk a little bit, then you might want to go ahead and add in some more fat. So how do you do that? Well, like I said, go from store-bought half and half to mixing your own half and half. More calories, more fat. You want to go ahead and you increase once more, you just go ahead and you just use straight half and half. So like I said, that's the way that you can control the amount that you're taking in. Now, as for the cinnamon that I put in, okay, first of all, let me just say that I actually do like the way that this tastes. Like, I could actually drink dairy mixed with raw eggs. I mean, and it just actually tastes good. It's nice and creamy. I like that. Okay, I'm fat adapted. I don't have carb cravings. I don't have sugar cravings. I actually like eating fat. I mean, it tastes good to me. Okay. Throw in protein powder, and it's a little bit more frothy, more like like a shake, like a milkshake. It tastes really good. And then I throw in the cinnamon just because I like the taste of cinnamon. I have seen people, and I've tried it myself, where you add in like a calorie-free, kind of like an artificial sweetener. Okay, whether it's stevia or whether it's some kind of an extract to put a certain taste in there, like a hazelnut extract or something like that. I don't like that. It gives me like a chemical taste. I like the cinnamon. It's a lot more natural. I don't like the sugary taste. Okay. As for sweeteners, I'm going to say the exact same thing I say about every single sweetener. It affects person to person. Okay. Everything from placebo effect to inflammation. I mean, does it spike your insulin? I mean, people say no, it doesn't spike your insulin, but I know that I feel like rubbish when I take in too many artificial sweeteners. So like I said, just try it yourself, and see how it affects you. But having said that, when I make these shakes, all I do is I throw in some cinnamon. Okay, I suggest you try cinnamon yourself, or maybe something else. Okay, but like I said, don't put anything with carbs, obviously. Yeah, and that's basically it. Like I said, this is how I actually show in my low-carb cutting and bulking diets, or at least my low-carb bulking diets, how you can add in calories. Okay, because like I said, I mean, you might be on like what I call a low G-flux, low-carb bulking diet, where you're doing a lot of lifting, you're doing a lot of calisthenics, weighted calisthenics, whatever, strength training, but you're not really doing a lot of other stuff to burn calories. So you might be like 60% fat, 40% protein. I mean, I don't know, maybe 15 calories per pound of body weight total, okay, as a starting point. But then if you're going to go ahead and you're going to be working out, like I say, professional athlete, you're working out, strength training every day, conditioning every day, sport every day, burning a lot of calories. Or also if you just get leaner, okay, and you have no body fat to burn, you might end up actually having to take in a lot more calories. So that's when you would go ahead and increase from like 60% fat to like 70% fat, okay? So like I said, it really depends. It also depends day to day. But like I said, by changing the constitution, okay, the components of the shakes that you're drinking, you're going to have the flexibility to go ahead and change the amount and the types of nutrients and the combinations that you're taking in. If you're interested in this, okay, if you're interested in learning how I can bulk, still have abs, okay, get strong as hell, but still have abs, still have that little V below my lower abs, okay. I don't know why the chicks dig it, but they do for some reason. Basically just get strong and get big and not get fat at the same time, and just do this on low carbs. You want to check out my low carb cutting and bulking diets. If you're watching this on Instagram, just go ahead and click on the link in my profile, Low Carb Cutting and Bulking. If you're watching this in YouTube, go ahead and click on the link right below the description, or right below the video in the description. And yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. And keep the questions coming. This was from a guy who said he wanted to know about the cottage cheese shake. I think he kind of misunderstood something, but he said he's interested in the cottage cheese shake I'm drinking. So here's the video for that. Keep the questions coming. See you guys in the next video.